The RV Show USA is brought to you by Flagstaff, building better RVs, making smarter RVers.
There's a party every week on his radio show where RVers always call in. They say, hey there, Wingman, tell me all that you can. We love to hear you on the radio again.
You know, one of the reasons I'm called the RV Wingman is that I'm always looking out for the RVer and the soon-to-be RVer, working to steer you away from trouble and connect you with the best folks in the RV industry. My goal is not to just help you become an RVer, but that you'll become a smart RVer, because smart RVers make really happy campers. And learning how some folks in the RV industry they do things and how the industry works is a big step in that direction. We have our friend from Rockwood, Flagstaff, on our guest line, Melissa Hoover. Melissa, you are in the customer service area at the factory level. What are some of the things in your view that RVers need to know that will make them, instead of just being RVers, they're happy RVers?
Oh, gosh. So many things. So I would start by definitely saying to research the products and how they work. I took a unit out pretty recently, and I've had warranty background experience. I've been here for a couple of years, that kind of experience. But to take a unit out and think that I knew how to operate it, I was so clueless. I couldn't even start the refrigerator, honestly. So to just get that product knowledge, to YouTube things, to call dealerships to ask them to do walkthroughs. YouTube, I find so many good things on YouTube. Just look for the model that you're after and YouTube videos on how to operate that thing. That is just really important.
And group pages. I find that, Facebook group pages of actual owners that have the RV that you're interested in buying, that's an incredible resource. It's free and it's available 24/7.
One of my favorite things out there, yeah. I get lost in Facebook for hours sometimes looking at the Facebook communities of owners and the way that they help each other. Just simple questions turn into these big, well, I actually ended up remodeling my unit and it works perfectly type. So those are really amazing resources as well, yeah.
Talk with me about having the buyer, the importance of having realistic expectations for somebody that's never owned an RV before. They're getting ready. They're excited because there's so many people nowadays that are hearing this message, and they're adjusting their lives. They're not going to be going to the theme parks like they used to as much. They're not going to be going on cruise ships. They want to get an RV, but they've got to have, I believe, realistic expectations. Talk to me about that.
Yes, that is a really great topic. So realistic expectations are that it is a completely different world. It's not going to be just like your house, but you can be just as comfortable in an RV as you are in your house. It just takes some learning. I wasn't familiar with any of the parts that went into an RV. I wasn't familiar with RVs at all prior to coming here. And so just imagining what it would have been like for me to purchase one. I walked through a unit for a few hours learning all of the things within the unit, and I walked away, and my mind just felt empty because it can be overwhelming. So knowing the product, making sure that you find a dealership that you have strong communication with is so important, so that if something does come up when you have that unit out, you know for certain that there's someone that you can contact. Even getting the manufacturer contact information in case you're stranded and you can't get a dealership. We have service centers all over the U.S. that can also help. So just finding your resources, those are the biggest things I would say. When you're thinking about becoming an RVer, is knowing all the resources, the contacts, the fixes, the quick fixes for things that might go wrong, what to look for. Yeah.
You know, I don't know if you knew this. My wife and I own a campground in Central Texas, and I see hundreds and hundreds of RVers that come in, and many of them have a brand new RV, and they'll ask for a little bit of help, and I'll go over and go inside. And Melissa, they have sawdust. They have little pieces of plastic wire and stuff underneath the table and in the drawers. I'm thinking, who at the factory would leave that there? The dealer, and it's no wonder people have this image of the industry as just sloppy. Now, I can tell you, I've never seen a Rockwood or a Flagstaff like that, but I have seen a lot of other brands. And that's got to be a blight on the industry and give everybody kind of a black eye.
Yeah. The negative image of it really speaks louder than the positive sometimes. That's certainly true. And I don't have an RV, but I could relate with a new vehicle. I could never purchase a dirty new vehicle. So I know that that's reality. I know we've had units that go out like that as well, but I'll tell you that we have over 7 inspection spots throughout each production line, and we have 5 of them where people are constantly in and out and cleaning and checking for putty and caulking and loose trim. Every station that the unit is pushed through, if plumbing is added, they check the plumbing. If LP is added, they check the LP system. When the awnings are put on, they check those. But the coolest thing is almost a year ago now, we started a CAI building. It's a customer assurance inspection. So what happens with this building is our head of quality actually randomly selects units off of each of our lines every day. And she has a team over there that goes through that unit as if they were the owners. They fold out the dinette, they push the tent camper up, they put the beds out, they use the awning, they use the water, they use the LP, they do another water leak test. They check these units inside and out and immediately report back to the plant if they find something that isn't right. So we're doing everything we can to check these and clean them over and over before we actually ship them out. And we pride ourselves on that. But I know it is known that these RV manufacturers, that we are pushing units out quickly because of the rate of pay of the production line, and that may be true. But there are some RV divisions that are working just as hard and just as fast on the quality. And we are definitely one of those divisions, thankfully.
I tell consumers that don't take possession of it unless you're happy with it. Don't buy the thing and take off from the dealer with sawdust and stuff, because if that's on the floor, what else is there that they didn't do, didn't fix, didn't check? But you're going to find out about it on your first, second, third camping trip. So make sure it's the way you want it before you roll out of the dealer's lot.
I agree. Check that thing out, up and down, inside all of the compartments. Yeah, I would not accept something that was less than my standard of quality off the dealership lot.
What is the best part of what you do in your job as customer service? What's your favorite part? What's the best thing about it?
Oh, my goodness. Being able to get our people here to see from the perspective of the dealer. That is my favorite thing. I think I'm known for, well, imagine if this was your car. Imagine if this was your family vacation. How would you feel if something that may have seemed simple is broken for you? How would you feel about it? And just getting our staff here to see it through the customer's eyes, to be able to relate, to realize that perspective and the customer perception, it's so satisfying. And it makes people love their jobs when they realize it's a real person on the other side of this phone or this email, and they are struggling and I can help them. And it's the most satisfying thing. So I go home almost every single day, and I'm just like, oh, I helped Susan in Nebraska today, and it was the greatest thing.
What is the most challenging part of your job, Melissa? What's the most difficult part? Besides being on the show with me, that can't be easy.
Yeah, and then I'd say the same thing, really. It's just getting our staff to see the perspective of the customer can sometimes be challenging.
You know what? Because to look at the world through somebody else's eyes is not easy, but somebody in customer service and really effective, good communicators are able to do that. And so I commend you for what you do. I mean, you got a tough job, young lady.
Yeah, I do. I love it. Thank you. I'm lucky to be a part of it.
All right, listen, looks like we're getting close to taking our hard break. So let's continue our chat next week. What do you say?
So excited for it, Alan. Thank you.
All right, good deal. All right, we'll talk to you then. So long. Folks, if you are getting ready to buy a new RV, I strongly, strongly encourage you to take your time during the buying process. Take your time. Learn as much as you can about how the RV that you are looking at is, how it's built. Get to know your dealer. That relationship that you end up having with your dealer will become very, very important in the months and years to come, I will assure you. One of the best things you can do is to watch some of our Ask the Manufacturer segments on social media. If you go to YouTube, just type in the word RV Wingman. In the search bar, you will find our channel, and then all you got to do is look for the Ask the Manufacturer playlist right there. A lot of great information that will be most helpful. I'm Alan Warren, the RV Wingman, back after this.